Quack, quack, baby. I'm Anna Rumor with Pop Culture.
And I'm Nick Valdez from comicbook.com.
And welcome to Drag, where we offer our unfiltered opinions about RuPaul's Drag Race, because it's time for the lip sync Lollapalooza. Today we're going in on the 8th episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 15, and it's time to see if these girls can lip sync once or 12 times in a row. Nick, what did you think of the lip sync throwdown?
I mean, there was like a big game, I guess, this past like week or so, but this was mine.
There was a Rihanna concert. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. This was mine. I was like, yes, let's go. This, if you're only giving us like an hour-long episode, this is how to do it.
Yeah, and it's fun because I feel like we hadn't seen a lot of these girls lip sync before. And, the format is they lip sync against each other. One person chooses the opponent chooses the song. They go against each other. Winner doesn't have to lip sync again. Loser has a chance to lip sync again until there's, just two of them, and then that one person goes home. So apparently that has basis in sports. I wouldn't know about it. But let's get into our first lip sync. Malaysia gets her ball pulled first, and she chooses Marsha, who in turn chooses Boys Don't Cry. Right off the bat, I was shocked Malaysia chose Marsha because Marsha was in kinky boots. Like, why are you gonna choose the Broadway girly right off the bat when Spice is right there?
I know. And that's the thing too, maybe she thought she could beat Marsha. Clearly not. Marsha was like, oh, I've been hiding all sorts of skills. And yes, like, in a good outfit this time too. It's not much. It's not, completely different than, what she's worn like last week or so, but it was kind of like a clear kind of winner here. It made sense as why Marsha would win, because Malaysia was good, but it's like, oh, okay, I kind of see your weakness now.
I forgot that we really haven't seen Marsha do a ton of dancing other than in her talent show, which was kind of stylized. So everyone had the element of surprise with her, not knowing that she was, kicking and flipping and doing all sorts of stuff all over the place. So I think that was a benefit to her, is kind of going out there, having people underestimate her, and then turning out to be this really fierce competitor. I also agreed. Marsha won that hands down.
Right. And remember, you really only get one of those. You really only get one time where you're surprised, and then you're safe. So let's cross our fingers that we'll see if she needs that again.
Well, next up we have Lucy, who gets picked, and she chooses Spice, which is the smart choice. That's what Malaysia should have done. And they do you want to touch? Not unexpectedly, Spice doesn't have anything to do. She looks great. I love this outfit. It works with the song. But she can't dance and she can't lip sync. I don't know what to tell you. Love you, Spice. You seem great.
I know. It's tough. I don't want to be real harsh on Spice.
No.
Because we, they're young queen, TikTok queen. It's like, okay, maybe clearly you weren't able to develop the other skills that a performer needs. But,
right.
And at the same time, I don't know how you felt about Lucy, but like, it was giving me that meme of like, yes, girl, give us nothing, Now
here, we do have some disagreements this week, I know. And here is where we come to our first one, because I thought Lucy, no, she did not like slay the stage. But I thought she did a good job. She had like the rocker spirit. It's a little bit of a different song to lip sync to. You can't really do, I feel like she's a real like diva moment kind of girly. But for a rock song, I thought she was doing good. She had something in her crotch. She was doing the rocker moves. I thought she did serviceable.
I mean, is it more because, compared to Spice? Is that the
Probably.
thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably.
But,
I mean, man, Spice knows what she's got going on. So again, I don't want to dog on her too hard. But anyone would look really good next to Spice. So maybe that's where I'm coming from.
I think that's what it was. If Lucy was up against anyone else, maybe she would have tried harder or something. It's just like, it wasn't connecting for me.
That is a good point. Maybe she wasn't really trying that hard. just in case that, there was some like rigor mortis or something like that. She had to do it again. That would be smart. I think the smart girls want to lip sync once and they want to do it with the bare minimum possible just in case things don't go their way. So, maybe there was some strategy there. Maybe she's just not that great of a lip syncer. I guess we'll find out later this season.
I have no idea. Like, especially when you compare that to the next battle. We have Lux versus Selena. And it's like, oh, here is everything. Thank you. This is what I was missing.
Yes, they do. It's all coming back to me now. And I know I've been critical of Selena's like fashion in the past, but this is truly where you get an idea of how she is such a successful queen, because she was everything. She went comedic with it. She had a few moments of like embracing the inner diva. I could not take my eyes off of her. Sorry, Lux. I truly like barely could watch her during it. She was Selena's electric.
Absolutely. I was getting full soap opera Days of Our Lives from Selena, and I was like, yes, please. This is why that show's been on for like 60 million years. It's because the people love it, and I love Selena. She absolutely killed that. Absolutely.
The key to pretty much anything is make Ru laugh. And Ru was laughing the entire time. Lux didn't really even stand a chance.
Yeah, no, once you get Ru laughing, that means she's paying attention to you specifically.
Yes.
And that's usually what keeps the queens around.
Yeah, and Lux was so pressed to find out that she didn't win. Did you see that little hair flip walk back?
That face crack? Like, ooh. Like, we've never seen a Lux with a shaking confidence before, and taking that L really kind of lit her fire.
Coming up next, though, we've got Mistress versus Jax to Tell It to My Heart. We've seen this song a couple times on Drag Race before, but it's always a good one. And Mistress is she's just everything to me, Nick. I don't know what to tell you. She's just everything to me. She had a reveal. She has this face that just emotes the song. She just has this presence and this charisma. I am in love with her.
Yeah, I'm such an old head that like this is the idea of drag that I always kind of consider, and so an old school vibe queen with like an old school song by Electra Owl, shout out.
She originated the song, yeah.
Yeah. And it was perfect, and her evil genius mind to somehow, she picked Jax, knowing that Jax would pick the song that she wanted. And if you're going to keep making this if you're going to keep scheming, win, right? And like, oh, Mistress, come. I want to see more.
I know. I was both excited that she won because she deserved it. I mean, I'll talk about Jax in a second, but I was disappointed that we didn't get to see more of her lip syncing because she's just so good. I love to watch her do it. And this is not to say that Jax is a bad lip syncer or was a slouch in any way. She did her thing. I think she is at a disadvantage though, because we've seen her lip sync like 3 or 4 times now already, and so we've kind of seen what she has to offer, which is very impressive, but again, nothing super new.
And it's a shame too, because she's finally wearing like fun colors.
Yeah. And
I think the wig finally works out. Like the look is cohesive. It's a very fun, youthful look. And it really was youth versus old school. And it's old school for a reason though. Yeah,
and the song choice definitely favored the old school form of drag. So Mistress hurt her mind. And speaking of her mind, by choosing Jax, she forces am I being dramatic? Is this one of the best lip syncs we've seen in Drag Race history? Sasha Colby versus Anitra.
I'm hard pressed to disagree. I was, once it was revealed that we'd be getting Anitra versus Sasha, it was like my mind was blown.
I was like, thank you, Mistress. I'm sure you just want to win, but this is also iconic. Thank you for giving it to us.
We weren't going to see this until like the final 4, and this might be the only time we get to see Sasha Colby lip sync before it's all over, and it was worth it though.
Oh God. So they do I'm in Love with a Monster. I don't love this song, but that's the only reason it's not like immediately a shoot to the way top of my list. But they both brought it so much. Sasha's hairography, her little butt shake on the ground. Oh my God. She's so good. And Anitra was really giving her a run for her money too, which is insane because Sasha is like drag royalty.
Yeah, I think I was most surprised about that, the fact that Anitra gave her such a good fight. It wasn't such like a Sasha dominant kind of victory, because Sasha was great, but there were moments in that where I was like, oh, Anitra.
Yes. They both were really like giving it their all, and I loved it. I mean, it was just such a blast to watch. I've rewatched that performance a couple times now, and it's really the only one that I've rewatched from this episode.
Yeah, it's hard to blame you because Sasha. She's just like Mistress. It's like she's here for a reason. The veterans are veterans for a reason because they're so good at what they do.
And she's got her own style too. You see a lot of these old school queens, and they are giving what they give so well. But it is comparable to kind of what other people do. Sasha's got her own little flair, and her bodysuit was so cool with the rhinestones. I loved it. I mean, I could just talk about this all day. I really love this. Sasha won at the end of the day, but Anitra said, if I have to lose to anyone, losing to Sasha Colby is pretty cool, and we stand her humble nature as well.
Absolutely. Anitra just continues to be one of my favorites, which is why, through the rest of the episode, I was so tense.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Here is where they are just doing this to us to make us tense, because otherwise it would be pretty obvious to see who's going home. They keep Anitra going way to the end. Okay, we'll talk about it. The next one we have up is Malaysia. She gets chosen again, and she, this time, smartly chooses Spice, which is what she should have done. This was the hardest I laughed all episode. Spice chooses Don't Go Yet by Camila Cabello, and she chooses it because she doesn't think Malaysia knows the words. And then she realizes she also doesn't know the words. Her mind.
A glorious, glorious mess. I loved it. It was at least something more than what Lucy did. Yeah, but Malaysia
Lucy hatred.
I'm gonna keep dunking on her as long as she's there. I'm gonna keep doing it. Give me reasons, Lucy.
I'm there for you, Lucy. Don't worry. I'll protect you from Nick.
Yeah, Malaysia was giving something. She was having the effort. She didn't know the words, but it was clearly more than Spice.
Spice did the conga line to the back of the stage at one point, which is funny, but you're not gonna win a lip sync like that. I enjoyed it, but it was bad.
Yeah, Spice is one of the luckiest queens ever. So we'll get into that, right? 'Cause Malaysia wins. Spice is, kept around for the finals, and then we get a three-way lip sync with Anitra, Luxx, and Jax. I don't know about the result of this one. I was a little kind of conflicted.
I thought so too. So they do the right stuff, and Luxx is giving us very much like that era in the lip sync. I thought they all did a great job. But to me, this should have been an Anitra win. I feel like they were just keeping her around for more lip sync because she's such a good lip syncer. I mean, what did you think?
That's where my conspiracy theory brain kept going off. I was like, is it because you want to see Anitra keep going? But this is why I was also so tense, because Anitra should never be that close to the bottom. Luxx ultimately wins, but I also thought it was gonna be maybe two of them would be safe, but to find out that Luxx was the only winner, she was gorgeous during that. And after losing before, she clearly had more pep in her step after, and I could see why she would be chosen as the winner, but she wasn't my winner. But I just, after Anitra, I don't know. And then we get to the final twist of the episode, where it turns out that when Anitra's ball gets picked, it's not that, she gets to pick her opponent. She has to choose one of the other queens to stay until next week. She chooses Spice. So,
what did you think of this choice? First of all, this twist, I was like, we're giving Survivor. I I stand, you know? I'm here for a mashup of all reality television shows. But what did you think of her decision to save Spice? Basically saying, I would mop the floor with Spice. That is not like an honorable thing to do. What do you think?
It's fun. It's great that she gave us like the best lip sync possible. You know, Anitra was here to play. But at the same time, I'm like, save yourself. Because I want Anitra to stay, and Spice is probably going home next week anyway.
Again, Survivor, I'm like, maybe these queens are just going to bring Spice all the way to the end because they know that she just can't win against them in a final. It's not bad strategy, but it is like wild drag race. And so it ends up being Anitra versus Jax, and they do finally another song we've heard before on Drag Race, but I love it, so I'm willing to watch a million lip syncs to it. What did you think?
So at this point, we've seen Jax lip sync like a million times.
Yeah.
And like you said, unfortunately, it's not her art that's the issue.
Yeah.
It's not her skills as a performer that are the issue. It's the fact that, you know, after seeing the stunts like so many times, it's like we know what you're kind of capable of, unfortunately. Yeah. And Anitra, you know, this was her like third lip sync, and we're still seeing more of what she can do. And in terms of that potential, and when you consider the fact that Jax has already been on the bottom twice, this ultimately made sense.
I agree. For me, Anitra just has this quality to her performance. It's like this musicality and this kind of fluidity that really gives her performance a next level. Not saying Jax doesn't have any kind of like, we've seen her flip and then flip on her back and do things that I don't even know have names. She's such an incredible performer, but I think that just bringing maybe that presence to the stage and maybe something a little extra to the eyes, to the face, is the next step for her.
She's ultimately eliminated here and sent home, but I feel like when she eventually comes back for All Stars, she's going to kill it. Like, once she figures out, like, the whole package, the rest of the package.
Absolutely. I mean, she's such a young queen. She needs to get the fashion down, but when she gets, like, a stylist, a little bit more queen to go towards some designers, and is able to watch her performances back like this, I mean, watch out All Stars. I think she really could be a contender to win All Stars. I do want to point out Nick in a Nick and Anna Always Right moment. We said last episode that we thought that this was going to be Jax going home, a la Jasmine Kennedy, lip sync assassin, getting sent home during last season's Lollapalooza. And we were right, and we're geniuses, and everything we say is correct.
I mean, I did lay out a pretty big prediction that Spice goes home next week. So, you know, I crossed my fingers for that. I know that sounds wrong, but I want to be right about this.
We just want to be right. It's nothing personal. We're just chalking this up to our own psychic abilities. Well, next week, I do think it is going to be Spice going home because we are having a ball, and I could not be more excited. The ball, other than Snatch Game, the ball is my favorite episode of every season, so I'm thrilled.
Yeah, it's a shame that it's not going to be one of the 90-minute ones. I think they're kicking in like next week or so. I don't know. I don't know math, so I don't know where that leaves us in terms of how many queens will be left. But I'm excited. We're ramping up here at season 15. Like the queens are really starting to give it everything. Yeah. And I can't wait. Like we're getting competition for _𝐐𝐲. I think that's the most interesting thing, right? Like we have clear front runners, you know, we have Mistress, we have Anitra coming up, but then, you know, we have Lux, who's like really coming into her own, and Marcia, who just might be improving at the right time. So
yeah, and her eyeliner is at least 3 inches longer at this point. So, you know, maybe Ru will give her a break. No, we stand Marcia too. But I am excited. We'll see what happens. We'll see these girlies put something together, and we will be here to recap all of it with you. We're here every week on Dragged, so we will see you next time.